Dude, I mean, that's what I tell a lot of producers who are like, oh, LA is so expensive. It's like, yeah, man, you're gonna have to get a part-time job.
Yeah.
Like we've all done it. I think how you did it, like you work nights so you could do sessions. I happen to work in the mornings because I'm a morning person, and I would work from like 6 to like 10 or 11, and then I would do my sessions,
Yep.
and that's just what it is. You gotta find a way to make it work because you just have to be here for the most
Yeah, and
part.
it's not going to hand it to you
Right.
by any means. I mean, I think some people get really lucky,
Hmm.
but I don't even know. Like, I feel if I had success at a much younger age, like I didn't have my first big song until I was like 35,
Yeah.
or maybe 34. But had it happened earlier, probably would not have been a good outcome.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ready for it, like mentally and just stability.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work, and it's especially producers. I find producers have a little bit more of a grind sometimes than songwriters, just because I feel like sometimes again, this is not always true, but songwriters sometimes it's like people just like hear their voice on things and it's just so much more obvious. And producers, it's like I don't know. I feel like you have so much more to learn. You have to learn how to engineer. You have to learn how to navigate a studio. You have to learn how to make things sound good, and it just getting your reps in.
Yeah, I mean, use this if you want
Sure.
in the podcast, but I'm from actually a unique position where most of my success has been as a songwriter.
Yes, same. Funny enough, same.
Right.
Yes.
And, I work with songwriters a lot that are like, you don't get it because you're a producer.
Yeah.
But in fact, I do.
Right.
I do know how hard it is to be a songwriter. And, but there's this battle in my head, right? Because everybody needs to get paid. And I'm paying songwriters out of my producer fees now. And
That's amazing. Yeah.
I just think it's to be fair. It shouldn't be our job. It should be.
It has to start somewhere. I mean, like I said, I'm a huge songwriter advocate. I'm going to bring up Sona again for everyone. Songwriters of North America. I believe everyone should join that. But it's like, yeah, it sucks that it does, the labels mostly make it fall on us to like be like, all right, well, we have to make sure the songwriters get paid. And they're like, well, we don't have the budget for it. And it's like, I mean, you definitely do, but I guess I'll take it out of mine because I feel morally obligated to do that.
Well, yeah, we want all our people to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, like, time spent, like, there's time spent to become a great songwriter,
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to access inspiration at any time, is a gift and also like a practice.
Mm-hmm.
But time spent, like tuning vocals and like just EQing a kick or just finding the right
kick,
the right sound, is like that just takes time, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I definitely find that I spend way more time on getting a song to its completion than most people I'm working with.
Yeah.
And there should be value.
No, there
at the end of the day.
There is. I've had like a lot of, because people know I'm such a songwriter advocate, I've had so many conversations with top liners and songwriters where they're like, I just don't understand why producers get these like fees and like songwriters don't. And it's like, songwriters should be getting fees.
I agree.
But it's also like, I don't think like, because someone was, we're just like having a discussion and they were like, songwriters should get just as much as producer fees. And I'm like, well, like I'm working on the song for like, sometimes 40 plus hours, and you were here for like 5, and we're still splitting that publishing the same. And it's like, and how producers work, it's like we're expected to like have a studio. Like I had like my operating costs as a producer are so much higher than a songwriter's.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was just like they didn't like sometimes it was like a young songwriter who just like didn't understand that. And so it was like a thing where it was just like, because half my songs like I'm only a songwriter on.
Right.
So I have that perspective, I guess.
At the same time, though, I do think top line and lyric is the most important part of any song.
1,000%.
Like I'm song forward. I am like vocal forward.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the rest is like a lot of people can do what we do,
right.
But like in terms of like making like a Dua Lipa type beat or something like that, or making a country type track.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot to get it like enough to write a song over.
Right.
But to make a great song is to me the most important thing. And that is extremely undervalued. I think it's more of a question of like, how do we adjust where the value is? Like, I think songwriters should have master points on everything. And I don't think producers should get paid any less.
Right.
But I do think songwriters should get paid.
They should get paid. And like I have like the more controversial take on it, where it's like I think we fix a ton of problems, but it's just not going to happen anytime soon. Same with trying to get songwriters master points. But you fix a lot of problems if you just fix how DSPs pay out
Yes.
to songwriter to publishing owners, right, and songwriters. Where if it's like, in my opinion, and I know labels aren't gonna like to hear, but in my opinion, we should be splitting all the money from the DSPs like 50-50 master publishing.
Yes.
I think that's just what it's got to be, and I think you solve so many problems right there. If that, like,
Yeah. God,
yeah,
in a perfect world.
I know, in a perfect world, right.
So good.
Because what this is just like me going off a tangent here, but like what ends up happening, right, is that like now songwriters don't have to be involved in like negotiating and trying to get like all these things. Now it's like kind of like how it used to be, where it's like, oh, songwriters just make great money from publishing.
Well, the only way to make money now as a songwriter is either you get a great sync or you go to radio.
Right. And that's what we're all dying for. Because when for people who don't know, listeners who don't know, when a song goes to radio, as far as publishing and writing goes, it's like that's where the money is.
Yeah, because if you own the master on something, you don't make money at radio.
No, you don't.
You know?
Yeah.
Radio changed my life.
Yes, same.
And Nashville changed my life in that way because Nashville has a great infrastructure for bringing their artists up and up and up. And it's almost like if you're there for long enough, you're going to get on the radio as long as you're working and doing everything right. You know, and Nashville's so full of great talent.